So let me answer this question. What is Gnana Kanda, Karma Kanda?
That is food and sitting and doing karma kanda.
You can have
Already have your
Yeah.
No, just okay. It's okay. We'll come to this. Okay. Very good. So Gnana Kanda and Karma Kanda. See, Veda has different sections. It's called Karma Kanda and Gnana Kanda. So Karma Kanda is actually performance of so many types of different type of rituals in yajnas. Okay. That actually has that portion is called Brahmana. A lot of mantras are there, and lot of processes are there. So now that is typically what you call as rituals. This is required for getting this benefit. This is required. This is required and all. That is called Brahmana. So the Brahmana, the ritual portion, how to perform those rituals, probably is not there in the Brahmana. It is probably a knowledge which is handed over from traditionally. The practical aspect, the mantra aspect is probably there in the Brahmana. Then the meaning of mantra contemplation is there in something called Aranyaka. Contemplation of some of the meaning of those mantras. Okay. Then the self-realization is Gnana Kanda. Shankaracharya said the first two parts are not important, not required for self-realization. Only last part you focus on, this is self-realization, Gnana Kanda, which is actually Upanishads. Whereas Madhvacharya and Ramanujacharya take a view that Karma Kanda is also important. Okay. Now, what is there in the Karma Kanda? Possibly, there are a lot of deep secrets of the universe are there. Possibly. Okay, you are actually operating at the forces of nature at a very deeper level, consciousness level. Whether anybody anybody has a good understanding of that, I don't know. I mean, there may be people, I don't know anybody. Okay, there may be some good people who may have good understanding. There are a lot of few commentaries are available. One is called Sayana Bhashya, Sayana Acharya. He wrote it in back in 17th century or 16th or later 18th century, I think. In Sringeri, they formed a group of 600 scholars and they did it. It is a more of a scholarly commentary. Then somebody did Kapali Shastri in this area, Tamil Nadu. He did something on that. Then recently, of late, using Kapali Shastri Bhashya, this man, Dr. Kashyap, there's Dr. I think his name is Kashyap. He has written a couple of these things. Then there is a Sudhakar Chaturvedi, there is a Pandit who has translated Rigveda into this thing. But somewhere, the deeper aspects of Veda, understanding of them and applying it to human society is something I don't know, where somewhere we are missing. Some understanding of this is there with what I can see is by teachings of this person, Maharshi Mahesh Yogi. Okay, some part, not full. Now, what is the essence of this teaching, Vedic teachings? Madhvacharya wrote something called Ragbhashya to give an indication of how Vedic teachings are to be interpreted, which is a very nice way. So now, he has done only for some couple of suktas to give an essence of that. But Vedas are vast. It is coming from a beyond human mind. How much human mind can interpret that, how much you can really apply that, I have no idea. But I have a sort of feel of this is how it works. But I don't have the mechanism or technology to make it, or use that and apply it. Except that Gnana Kanda portion, which is Upanishad and all, I am very comfortable with that.
So it's different from the Upasana that is mentioned in the Upanishads? Or is it...
No, Upasana is a part of Gnana Kanda only. These are all different. Say for example, you have to, how to perform Ashwamedha Yajna, how to perform Putra Kameshti, how to probably create Brahmastra, all those things, I don't know. Very complex technology. So what was required for a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, the processes, Kshatriya may require some different types of weapons, probably the weapon system. That is part of Atharvana Veda. No. It's very difficult to comprehend that. I mean, at least for me, I have a feel for that, but I don't understand all these things. And also, it is possible to reclaim Vedic knowledge directly from Bhagavan, God. That's what Yadnavalkya did. Yadnavalkya's guru asked him to return back everything of Atharvana Veda, what he learned, or Yajurveda. Then Yadnavalkya dropped that and did Upasana of sun. Then he got Shukla Yajurveda or Krishna Yajurveda, one of them. So like that, it's possible to directly get a revelation also. But then, I don't know, in modern times, how we can take this Vedic knowledge and how we can help people, society, the world. I believe it is possible, but I don't know how it is possible. Who can do it, I don't know. I wish I can, but I can't. I don't have the ability. But I have the ability to understand, grasp, penetrate this all these teachings of Upanishads and Vedanta, which is Jnana kind of portion. Yes, Subbu. Your question.